Yeah, I think, like he said, he has the momentum, and yeah, he faced some good guys, and he won. He took them out, but like I said, I'm a whole different animal. So let's.
Listen, it's a fighter, you know. I feel on serious for this fight. I prepare like 100% discipline, control. But 23 in May, we look great fight.
During the press conference, John Fury exploded with emotion and used the moment to create even more tension around Oleksandr Usyk, while keeping Tyson Fury's name at the center of the conversation. His aggressive warning toward Usyk was not only connected to the Rico Verhoeven situation, but also a reminder of the unfinished rivalry between Usyk and Tyson Fury. John Fury clearly believes Tyson Fury is the only fighter capable of truly challenging Usyk, and his passionate outburst has once again pushed the possibility of a massive rematch back into the spotlight.
Good. Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you organization who do this. Thank you Rico. Thank you Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, why you chooses? You're not a boxer. It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, you know, please, one time I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you must, you have to boxing like this. You must boxing like this. I say, okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you so much.
I was going to respect you. Oleksandr Usyk stayed calm and welcomed the fight with Rico Verhoeven. He said the decision was his alone and called Rico dangerous, but remained confident and focused for another big crossover challenge.
If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
I mean, someone's saying it could change boxing forever if he wins.
Tony Bellew believes Rico Verhoeven would struggle under boxing rules compared to kickboxing. He says Oleksandr Usyk may need a few rounds to adjust, but will eventually break Rico down with his timing, movement, and ring IQ. Bellew also warned that a Rico victory would be one of the biggest shocks in boxing history.
Greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history.
And I definitely feel like I could give them a good challenge because I've trained with both of them. I know them inside out. So, but for now, the focus is on this weekend.
Oleksandr Usyk described Rico Verhoeven as a dangerous and powerful opponent, showing respect for his status as an undisputed kickboxing champion. He admitted the event has both entertainment and competitive elements, but made it clear that he is taking the fight very seriously. Usyk also emphasized his intense preparation and complete focus on executing his game plan.
I'm always like very calculated, but yeah, when I connect, I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing, but now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited.
Tony Bellew explained just how massive this challenge is for Rico Verhoeven, calling it a potential all-time upset if he somehow wins. He pointed to Oleksandr Usyk's elite resume, including victories over Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois, proving Usyk is still operating at the very top of boxing. Bellew stressed that Usyk is not a faded champion or an easy comeback opponent, but one of the most dominant fighters in the sport today. That's what makes Rico stepping into only his second professional boxing match so unbelievable. The huge gap in experience, skill, and world-level boxing exposure makes this crossover clash seem almost impossible on paper.
Not a fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate it. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing space in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight. Accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Oleksandr Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Oleksandr Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part.
Simon Jordan suggested that the Oleksandr Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven matchup is being driven more by business, entertainment, and global attention than pure sporting merit. He questioned the logic of a kickboxing superstar stepping into a heavyweight boxing environment at such a high level, implying that financial and promotional motives are playing a major role. However, Jordan also admitted that crossover fights are becoming increasingly popular because they attract huge worldwide interest. His comments add another layer to the debate, showing that this fight is not only about skill and danger, but also about spectacle, marketing, and turning combat sports into a global entertainment event.
Own little space, and I can see how the monetization vehicle of this works. But Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou.
Oleksandr Usyk once again downplayed the pressure, making it clear that he sees this as just another boxing fight. He remains calm, focused, and fully confident in his preparation. Usyk's mindset reflects the experience of a fighter who has competed at the highest level for years, where massive events no longer affect his performance or emotional control.
Oh, it's not pressure for me. Listen, it's just a fight. It's a boxing fight. It's a normal. I prepare for this fight. Everything okay.
Peter Fury confirmed that both Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven were fully willing to make this fight happen, describing them as ultimate fighting men. His comments suggest there is strong mutual respect between both camps and highlight how naturally this crossover matchup came together through ambition, confidence, and massive public demand from fight fans around the world.
Understand that he's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Van Hooven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
Tony Bellew once again emphasized the magnitude of this crossover fight, stressing just how dominant Oleksandr Usyk has been at the very top of heavyweight boxing. He highlighted Usyk's victories over elite giants and dangerous contenders, showing that he is still in his prime and operating at the highest level. Bellew explained that Rico Verhoeven stepping into only his second professional boxing bout against such an active, proven champion creates an almost impossible challenge. That's why, according to Bellew, any potential win for Rico would not just be an upset, but one of the biggest shocks in the history of combat sports.
Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk. It will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yes, it's a second professional fight on paper, but this is a guy whose second professional fight is against the undisputed unified former cruiserweight champion of the world, the current undisputed unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's undefeated. Nobody has been able to touch this guy. It's peak Oleksandr Usyk. He's just defeated a man who's 20 stone and 6'9" in Tyson Fury twice. He's just defeated a record machine in Daniel Dubois who was on the run of his life. This isn't a guy who's washed up having a comeback fight against somebody. This is a guy in his peak and in his prime. Put that into perspective. If Rico Verhoeven is to do this, it's off the Richter scale. This is bigger than Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. That's how big this is. This would be the greatest shock in boxing history.
Rico Verhoeven showed great respect toward Oleksandr Usyk, even drawing comparisons between them as dominant forces in their respective sports. He praised Usyk's long unbeaten run and consistent high-level performances against elite opposition. Rico admitted that facing Usyk would be the ultimate challenge and a cherry-on-the-cake moment in his career. This makes it clear that he is not underestimating the boxing champion, but instead views the crossover as a legacy-defining opportunity. At the same time, it highlights how rare it is for two reigning dominant champions from different combat sports to even consider sharing a competitive space like this.
Sure.
And Oleksandr Usyk is the Rico Verhoeven in boxing.
Yeah.
So like he's been dominating for so long and in such phenomenal fashion. So I was like, wow, if we could do this, that would be like the cherry.
Liam Goff strongly criticized the fight, calling it a gimmick and questioning the legitimacy of Rico Verhoeven receiving a shot at the WBC heavyweight level. He pointed out Rico's limited boxing experience and argued that several active contenders are being overlooked in favor of a crossover attraction. Despite the criticism, Usyk's position at the top of the heavyweight rankings shows why any fight involving him instantly becomes controversial. This reaction highlights the divide among boxing fans. Some see it as exciting entertainment, while others view it as unfair to rank contenders waiting for their title opportunity.
This is a joke. This is nothing but a gimmick fight, and it's even more shameless considering the fact, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Does Rico Verhoeven, with his one win over a decade ago against the guy who was 0-5, deserve a world title shot? And there's on a postcard, can you play the recorder? No. That's the answer. This is shocking. Shocking stuff from Oleksandr Usyk. This is Oleksandr Usyk picking money over legacy.
Ade Oladipo highlighted Rico Verhoeven's reputation as one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, rising from a contender to the undisputed king of the sport. He acknowledged Rico's skill level, athletic ability, and solid striking fundamentals, making it clear that this is not a random opponent, but a highly respected champion in his own discipline. However, he also subtly pointed out the gap between kickboxing and elite boxing, raising questions about how Rico's skills will translate into a pure boxing environment against someone like Oleksandr Usyk. This sets up the central debate of experience versus crossover talent.
Oleksandr Usyk steps in and will take on one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. I'm actually quite a big kickboxing fan, so I know quite a lot about him. I've watched a few of his fights over the years. They used to call him the Prince of Kickboxing, then he elevated to the King of Kickboxing. I mean, he's a very, very, very good kickboxer who's got decent hands. I can't lie to you, it's funny.
Fabio Wardley expressed mixed feelings about Usyk choosing Rico Verhoeven, saying he expected a more traditional, active professional boxer rather than the kickboxing star. He admitted respect for Usyk's right to choose his opponents, but questioned the sporting logic behind the matchup. Wardley also suggested that after this crossover experiment, Usyk should return to facing top-ranked heavyweight contenders. His comments reflect a common opinion in boxing, where some view this kind of fight more as entertainment than a true sporting progression within the heavyweight division.
Boxing for a long time, and
not really done much in boxing at all to warrant a shot at Oleksandr Usyk when there's a queue so big. And
Indeed.
You know what I mean? And that's the most important thing. The people who are sitting waiting for their shot in line are going to be fuming over this. Some would say, to counter that argument, Usyk's probably earned the right to have an easier one after what he's done.
After breaking down the full inside camp story of Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven, one thing is clear. This is not a normal boxing narrative. It is a full-scale crossover debate that has divided fans, fighters, and analysts alike. Usyk stands as one of the most complete and dominant heavyweight champions of this era, with elite footwork, ring IQ, and the ability to adapt to any style in front of him. On the other side, Rico Verhoeven brings years of dominance in kickboxing, along with power, discipline, and a winning mentality that has kept him at the top of his sport for a long time. If Usyk wins this matchup, it further cements his legacy as a generational great who can solve any challenge placed before him. But if Rico pulls off the upset, it would instantly become one of the biggest crossover victories in combat sports history and reshape how fighters from different disciplines are viewed. Mentally, Usyk appears calm, calculated, and unaffected by pressure, while Rico shows ambition, respect, and a strong desire to test himself at the highest level. That contrast is what makes this matchup so compelling. In the end, the biggest question remains whether boxing IQ will always overcome raw power and kickboxing pedigree when everything is on the line.